working well, and I hope you can see the board correctly and you can see us well and hear us well. So today we have round one of a new tournament. It's called the Grand Swiss Classic. We have about 112 participants, players, and it's going to be really cool because it's an individual tournament, but you won't play members of your own team. I'm with the Chess Dojo team, so I'm playing other team members. Today it's Kurt Rohrer, 56. He's from Brazil, and he's playing for Todo Mundo, I think. And he, as I said, he's from Brazil. So I cannot start the game without saying that I remember a soccer game where Germany led 5-0 at halftime and won 7-2, I think. So, yeah. But my favorite all-time player is Socrates from Brazil, so that's all fine. And I remember how I cried when Ayrton Senna died, of course. So that is all a long time ago, and we shouldn't wait any longer. Today we are with International Master Nadj Hedjesi again. Balint, hello, welcome.
Hello, welcome, Jan. Yeah,
Super.
nice pronouncing.
I give my very best, as you know. All right. So then we can start. And as always, when we start, I'll put out the headphones so that I cannot hear what is being said by Balint. And I will only put it back in once the game is over. In the meantime, I will jump in with my thoughts, what I think of the position and so on. I usually interrupt Balint while he's explaining. I hope it's not too bad. And yeah, the opponent is way stronger than I am, and we'll see how it goes.
I hope so. I also hope that you'll play good, and I will not. There will no be a reason to be pissed off if you made any mistake.
Okay, well,
Good luck, Jan.
thank you so much, and have a great day.
Oh, Jan, favorite opening, knight f3. So standard Catalan opening, where we are searching fast development on the king side. So knight f3, g3, bishop g2, and short castle, one of the most popular structure for the king, and the probably most safe way to put the king on the short castle, because he's surrounded with light pieces. Also very strong knight into the center, and bishop on the long diagonal. Every time I'm enjoying when I see this structure. And that is one of the safest opening you can play. Very interesting. William continue with c4. Basically, white can go with c4, knight c3, rook e1, e4 plan, and black can develop his pieces with b6, bishop b7, and even c6, and later c5. So
Hello,
maybe now
Balint,
it's a
and everyone's watching. This was my opening preparation. It went super well for 6 moves, and now that's all done, and I need to think like what's going to happen on the board. And yeah, we'll see. Best of luck. I mean, to myself, probably.
best of luck, Jan. Yeah, as I mentioned, b6 is completely a normal move. Someone likes to play c6 and later b6, bishop b7. One tempi in this position doesn't mean so much for black, and later he can push c5, changing all these pawns into the center. He goes in some equal middle game. So at this point, I don't know. Knight c3 seems pretty correct for now. Jan play really well with standard ideas. I think knight c3 works completely fine, or some ideas with bishop f4 maybe connected with this type of ideas. Also, in any second, in any moment when he decides, he can open the c file if he take on d5 that pawn. I think white will take control over e5 square, and that is what we can expect in next few moves. Hello, I'm back and I can see the standard position already many times played from Jan's side, and this is standard normal position where white has a good development, so I expect some bishop b2 or rook e1 follow with rook c1 and then knight e5. That will make some progress if it's possible. Maybe knight e5 immediately also gives white some chances to push e pawn, but c5 counterplay for black is good enough. Maybe Jan needs to decide to take the pawn on d5. That should be played probably, followed with bishop f4. So some pressure on the c7 square. Many different plans for white in this position. So we'll see what Jan prepared for this game. He tried with some dangerous preparation. I hope that is what I will see. In any case, go Jan. I'm with you.
Hey Barlind and chat, this is Jan, and yeah, I don't know how to proceed. Basically, as you know, I never have middle game plans, which is probably not so good. I think of a queenside attack or kingside attack and cannot decide yet. So my candidate moves here are rook to e1 or pawn a2, a4, followed by bishop c1, a3, and or just developing the bishop normally to b2, but it feels somewhat stuck, and I cannot decide as always. I have also weird plans on the king side, and I don't know yet. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Like always, Jan thinks about some standard plans like rook e1 or bishop b2, but no other plans. Maybe I think the best way to continue this position is to take on d5 and then bishop f4. Otherwise, I just watched this position and I realized the problem is if you don't take on d5, black will play very fast c5, or maybe he can take on c4 and then c5. That is also could be available for black. So c5 counterplay for him is coming. In any case, to counter that play, maybe we should take on d5 first and then follow up with bishop f4. But Jan thoughts goes in different directions, so I don't expect that idea. that is what I know about this position. In any case, very interesting position. We can expect many different plans, many creativity, and a lot of interesting small skirmish over the board, especially on the queen side, I believe. On the king side, it's not possible to start any attack with this structure, like I like to call that castle, small house where the king lives very safe. So bishop on g2, knight on f3, and king really safe. So no way to make any progress. Maybe at some moment h4, h5, but I think we should be focused more on the queen side and specifically on the c line. We'll see. Jan just quiet move, rook e1. He plays slowly and he's waiting for his opponent. As I said, I believe the c5 move gives black directly very equal chances in the future. I don't know, I'm not sure, but we can change a lot of pieces into the center, and in that conditions white cannot calculate to have some big advantage. I believe this position will be really equal if black choose c5 move. We'll see. So yes, as I said, hello. As I said, we have this c5 a3. Very interesting. I think a3 is a small inaccuracy because black can take on c4. That is the main problem. And after bc4, cd4, and we can expect that c4 weakness, that pawn on on c4 is really could be really exposed and really weak. So that is the reason why we need to react after black moves c5. So dc5, if you take the dc4, I'm sorry, if you take after dc5, he can take with his knight, and basically after bc4, c pawn stays isolated and I'm sorry, and alone. That is the reason why this a3 is a small inaccuracy. Yeah, rook c8. More preparations. Oh, Jan, you played this, like you. It's really crazy how fast you actually play this small bishop b2, and that is not good. Yeah, the mind is a is a strange thing, and when we start with some ideas, it's really tough to give up from that idea, and we are just following that path. But sometimes we need to stop and check again, are we on the good road? Because this position after, as I mentioned, dc4 seems really ugly for white. But who knows? We'll see what is coming and what is a black choice. Hello, hello. I'm back and we still waiting
Hello,
for the...
Barlind, and hello, chat. This is Jan. And Barlind, am I in danger of losing a pawn here? That would happen by basically his pawn d5 taking c4, and then his pawn c5 taking d4, and then he has the rook basically on the c4 square where my other pawn would be after I retake. So I don't know how this is now, but as you know, middle games are middle games. I have no clue what's happening, so we'll see.
Yeah, Jan thoughts we'll see. Like always, we can expect some fight into the center, and probably that pawn on c4 could be exposed, and that is the reason why white needs to push his knight maybe on e5, or to go back with him knight d2, or take on c5 and then knight d2. That was a chance to keep this c4 pawn really safe, but now it's not possible, and I think any line, any exchanges lead in black advantage, because c4 pawn stays isolated and weak. Yeah, but maybe that's too complicated, and the reason to start with dc4 and cd4, knight d4, e5. Thanks, Andrew Pevar, for these thoughts and to share with us some comment. Basically, yeah, you're completely right, and that is what is coming, and what we can expect from the black pieces. Only mistake what he can do now is to play something slow, like queen c7 or rook e8, or basically doing nothing. So black needs to take some action and direct approach to find some pressure over these pawns on.
And sorry for interrupting again. This is Jan again. Kurt is thinking so long, it makes me super scared. And I think he's doing all these calculations and already building mating nets and everything. But yeah, it's exciting how this is going to turn out. So.
Jan is every time super exciting. He's excited what to do next, and he enjoys so much, and that is the reason why I like to watch his games and to make any commentary. Later, we just discuss about some moments and emotions and feelings, how he feels in that crucial moment when when he needs to make a mistake. Yeah, this move could be this is the most dangerous continuation probably. Yeah. I'm not sure what to do next with the white pieces. Will we give up from this pawn, maybe taking some advantage from the b5 square, maybe dc5, and after, if he takes with his rook, maybe b4. Some pressure follow with knight b5, knight d6 idea to take a bishop pair, but that doesn't seem uh, uh, good for white pieces. We'll see what Jan. Exactly. Maybe the only one. If he goes with normal ideas like bc4 to recapture the pawn on c4, the problem is black goes with trade on d4, cd4, and then he doesn't have a proper way to take back that pawn on d4. If we trade the light square bishops, that doesn't give us nothing good, and we could be exposed on the king side without that bishop, that dragon on g2. Otherwise, if we take that pawn with queen, there is other problem because few tempes is coming, like bishop c5 or e5 or either knight c5 is really dangerous because black wants to trade the queen, and later, as I mentioned earlier, c4 pawn stays alone and isolated, really weak, and probably just goes down really fast. This move, dc5, give us another options and opportunities to go with something like b4 and knight b5. As I said, exposing d6 square and a7 pawn is after that maneuver under pressure. So any bishop c5 or knight c5, no, knight c5 that then doesn't work. Rook c5 probably. Then we can go b4 and knight to b5. That is probably what I will do if I'm white, to get some pressure on d6 square on the pawn. Otherwise, there is a long path and a really bad situation, war situation for the next period of the game. We'll see. This is interesting choice for Jan. Desperado option, eye for the eye. He took his pawn on c4. He took his pawn on c4, and Jan responded with dc5. Anyway, I'm coming soon. Short break. See you soon, and we'll see what was a black choice. Stay with us. Soon. Ciao.
Hello, Valent, and hello, chat. You probably saw from my facial expression. This is something I would have never thought of. It's against all rules, I think, like bringing out the rook so soon. It looks so displaced there. And I have no clue why. I mean, of course, I learned about the importance of the passed pawn, so I think he expects me to play b4 now. Then he has the passed pawn, which is kind of a plus. And yeah, that's probably the reason why I won't play it, just to get rid of that passed pawn. Because that might turn out later as a real danger. I will think about it.
Yeah, not sure his thoughts about that, but anyway, the problem is at one moment he will beat our pawn 2 versus 1, so he'll push the A and B pawn together, and A pawn will cannot beat them both, so black will make some pass pawn in the future. As I said, I will probably pick that b4 tempi move to attack the rook, and after that knight b5. Anyway, where he goes, probably the best move is rook c8 after b4. Anyway, either in that case, I think my choice will be knight to b5, because I am attacking the pawn on a7, and also if he push him a6, I would gladly play knight d6, taking one bishop away from black piece. Knight d6, bishop d6, queen d6, and I think white can make some compensation in this position, even with that fact he is pawn down. As Jan like to say, and me either. We'll see. I'm just waiting for this next move. If you take on c4, I think the position is pretty clear, and 2 versus 1 on the queen side gives the big power and big advantage for black pieces. I believe that is not a good choice.
Hello, Balint in chat. I think I found a super master evil plan. So my evil plan goes like this. Balint, listen. So if I take the pawn, he takes with the rook. Then I attack the rook with my knight from f3. And he has to basically retreat, otherwise I take the rook. And we have a double attack because my bishop is now free to attack his bishop. So his best move would be to go back c7 with the rook. And then I can, that was my thought, attack it with the bishop. But that I see now doesn't make sense because I cannot go to f4. f4 would have been great with the bishop, but e5 destroys my evil master plan, so that's bad. But I'll keep on thinking to find something. So.
Yeah, Jan likes to think about this complicated position. That is the good way to make any improvement. Just think about options, and you will find in that conditions you can find something brilliant and beautiful what you can use during this game and struggles about next decisions and next plan. As I said earlier, my favorite is b4 and knight b5. Also, I hope black choice will be a rook somewhere on the c file. Otherwise, if he played rook f5 or something like rook h5, maybe, in that case, we cannot go with that idea, and that is a problem. Anyway, I just need to wait what will be a Jan choice about that b4 idea, or will he take? Anyway, I think if he take, it's really ugly, but we'll see. Share some ideas if you have. That will also help Jan tomorrow when he watch again his game and when we analyze that. Thanks.
Hello, Balint. Hello, chat. Oh man, there are so many possibilities, and I have trouble to what's the word in English for it, to get it down to, well, 1, 2, 3 candidate moves. So I will keep on thinking regardless of time, and you'll see what happens. Yeah, you'll see. Ah, hello, Balint. I don't know if this was correct or not, but I have a second super master plan, and probably it will be faulty, salty as much as the first master evil master plan was. But the idea here is, of course, to bring the queen to d4 and get the pawn back, of course. And if he brings the bishop to d5, then I will try to just destroy all of that. And you know my kind of chess. This is with some blinking eye, so we'll see how this goes. I have opportunities, I think, to get the defender of that c4 pawn out of the way, but will be tough, of course. And bye bye for now.
Bye bye for now. I was planning to stay calm and quiet until this move, so that is the reason why I'm here again. And as I said, b4 is the probably most dangerous move for black, and this is the best idea and best option in my opinion. Now when the pawn is gone, we have to find something to make any compensation for this c pawn. and I think this is okay and this is correct way. Instead of suffer, Jan chose some activities, and I believe that will be successful for him in next period. So b4 is the best move for sure. Best options, practical fight gives the best practical fight. Now we are waiting what black will pick. Rook f5 or maybe rook c8 as I mentioned. If he goes rook f5 or rook h5, then the idea could be connected with something like b5 for black to give protection for c4 vulnerable pawn, or just simple rook c8, and then we have a situation and idea with a knight b5 move, attacking the pawn and threatening to jump into the on d6 square. In any case, we can expect very very difficult fight and very interesting fight. Rook c8. So probably Jan choices, Jan pick will be knight b5. But let's see. Let's wait and check that soon.
Hello, Barland, and hello, chat, of course. If I would be him, I would probably bring in the a6 pawn, so he can have a nice pawn chain protecting his passed pawn on c4. And yeah, that's what I probably would do. But as you noticed by now, it's tough for me to really think of all of think of all the possibilities here. So if he does that, can I bring in my pawn to b5? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe that rook c1 wasn't necessary, but that is what it is. I believe a6 prophylactic move is the best for black, and that is the way how he can stop the Jan to go there, or to go with the knight b5. So we are waiting that move. After a6, I believe the best move for Jan is to push b5, but neither that doesn't give him some normal position. The pawn is down, and we are pawn down. We need to take some radical measures about that. Probably idea knight b5, knight d6, probably like that. So black thinks a lot. I will probably very easily pick something like a6 or e5. That is what gives the serious progress for black, and probably one of the best of a6 with b5 to keep that material advantage pawn up, and a safe way to establish full control over the c4 square. I don't know, maybe white, maybe black needs some deeper calculation to make that decision, but I believe that is completely and very easy to play.
Hey, I was correct. Guess the move 1-0. Lovely. Okay. Sorry again for being here. Ballint. I don't know if this is correct, but I think I can play b5 now. And if he takes, I take with my rook. Because if he advances his pawn, it would be okay to c3 because I have the bishop and the rook. But then he can take my rook on a3 with his bishop. But I somehow, in between, bring the queen to a4 and everything will be all right. I have to calculate all that. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye, good luck. Good luck, Jan, with that calculation. As I said, a6 seems the one of the best options, but the way how white can respond is to push that b5, and that is what are we doing. What else? Basically, I don't see the way how to stop b5. So white needs to do this move. Then the new problem, whole on c5, and really nice squares for the black pieces to enter there on c5, bishop c5, knight c5. That is the reason why the pawn is so important. He's not just material, he's not just piece of wood. He brings some energy and some control. Without him, some squares and some options stays empty and not possible, and also some open diagonals and files becomes closed. That's the problem. Why we need to keep that material equal position all the time. So b5 is the best move. I don't see the other one, the other good for white. So the only one. Neither that move is not good, but that is what it is. We'll see. Yeah. So we have b5. Please share with us some ideas, some comments. Did you ever play something similar like this? And what do you think about next plans, ideas for white, especially, even for black, if you want to share some of your experience playing this type of positions. Maybe this for someone of you this is a main line and main opening for black pieces. So very often that the structure with the knight f6 and d7 with the bishop on b7 and e7 we have in queen's gambit defense, we have in Catalonian defense. So black choice also in some hedgehog structure. So it happens often. This b5 is the only one, as I said, as Jan mentioned, is the only way to stop b5 pawn chain. And now some complications and fight is coming on the queen side, as I mentioned earlier. Stay with us and check the continuation of this game. Very, very interesting game.
Sorry, I just needed a quick break. I'm back again, and he didn't move, so he has to think. And I'm happy that he's not destroying me totally, like super 100% without thinking. I'm already down 2 pieces and everything, so it's kind of an okay game for me, I think. Yes. So we'll see. I hope you really enjoy it. Also, Barlind for and again. If I do really stupid mistakes, just yell at me. So when I rewatch the video and can hear you, then I know exactly this is something where I have to pay attention.
And explain his impressions about that, how I making a commentary about his mistakes. Of course, I'm emotional about that, becomes emotional, and maybe I can say something more aggressive or just as he said, yelling. I'm just speaking in my in with myself because I'm trying to explain how that happens, and if happens often, I'm worried, and I'm trying to think to find some way to explain the situation and how to avoid these mistakes into the future. So Jan, of course, takes that with very strong, and he just trying to be better every time. So I'm satisfied with his time management. Usually he's thinking so much, and sometimes that happens. He stays without enough time at the end of the game, and now I believe 27 minutes is more than enough. Yeah, and he said he's satisfied. He's not destroyed immediately, and he'll have some chances in next period, I believe. We'll see.
Hello, Balin. Sorry for interrupting again. This is Jan. And I don't know about you, but by now the game seems to start to become really exciting to me. Because time is down, like we are down now about half of the game, I think. I'm just down one pawn. He has this passed pawn, but still kind of okay, I think. Maybe I'm totally wrong, totally off, I don't know. But yeah, why shouldn't I win this? So I probably be punished soon, but we see. Hopes are getting up a little.
Exactly, Jan. You nicely said that. Why not to win? Who knows? It's unclear position. Oh, I'm really sorry. I missed this. What? Why this? Why this? Oh, bishop. You never give up from this bishop on b7 for the knight. And in my opinion, this was a really, really strange decision. Now, I believe white is completely okay, and he have a very nice compensation. So first of all, the idea could be connected with knight d6. Look at the bishops. These guys works very well, and both of them are really active. So, I suppose this position is completely unclear, and white, in my opinion, white have a full compensation, even in this position, could be a slightly better. So what do we have here? We have a very, very unclear position. Very. It's really tough to make any good decision and any good plan for both sides. It's both sides prevents the other side to do what he wants. Knight c5, bishop c5, something like that. But c4 pawn is hanging. That is not available. That is actually reason why black is thinking so much what to do next. Yeah, also the really, really strange move is possible for white. Bishop b7. Bishop b7 moves that rook from the c8 square. Also, knight a7 is really cool. Knight a7. I just noticed that. Knight a7 follow up with knight c6, and then c4 stays alone, and Jan can pick him. This position is completely okay, completely fine for white. We just need to figure out the way how to use our bishops, and with open center like we have here with e4, d4, e5, and d5. Open, it's easy to understand. Bishops are very, very powerful, and we can take back that pawn on c4. Just surround the weakness, block him, and later take him down. So now I start to believe in Jan position. Go Jan.
Oh, Balint, hello chat. I have a question. As Kurt is thinking so long, is it a good strategy to keep as many pieces on the board as possible? Because I think he tends to think long. So maybe that's something good to keep in mind, and time will pay its role after a little while. We'll see. Did I miss
Yeah, as
something,
we
or is
could expect.
queen a4 now the best move? It protects the knight, it double attacks the pawn. I think that is good. We'll see.
As I said, we have that situation where the black goes with his rook on c5, something on c5, and now the knight is attacked. And Jan idea queen a4 seems completely correctly. I will probably my first view against this move was a4. Just push the pawn, protect the knight, and then still you have a pressure with the bishop a3 or something like that. Anyway, Jan's choice was to bring the queen into the fight on the queen side, queen a4, double
I don't know if
attacking
this
this
was too fast, but I
on
don't see
c4.
obvious trouble. Probably not thinking enough plays ahead. I also like to bring him into time trouble, of course, but this is again, we're having 30 seconds increment, so probably no time trouble possible, but I just think this was a good move. The queen on a8 is protected by my bishop. That would have been something, but to me it's looking good. I start shaking, by the way. I don't know if my heart rate is correlating, but it's exciting.
Yeah, nice notification. The heart rate is completely strange for me. You know, usually Jan heart rate goes up and down, but in this game he's completely calm and all was good for now, and his heart rate is usually 58, so standard 58. Yeah, anyway, I think this position is really cool and very interesting and intense. This c4 pawn is exposed as we
Oh,
saw.
hi, Balint again. I think I missed queen c8. So if I would be him, I would probably play queen c8. What can I do then? I have to think.
Yeah, and Jan mentioned that he missed queen queen c8, but that is not, end of the world. That is just normal move, and we need to find something against that. Will we double the rooks on the c files? That is one option. The other option, maybe we can effect on this rook on c5. So after queen a4, the knight is protected. That is the reason why I mentioned this option a4. Anyway, after queen c8, maybe the best move for black for Jan is the move bishop d4, and you can see how good we can
If he brings in
synchronize.
the queen to c8, I can probably play my idea was knight a7 attacking the queen, but then he could bring the rook to a4, and this all needs to be calculated.
Go young, go, go young, go. I'm just waiting for his heart rate to pump up for the pump, and some 85, 87 in some right not wait until that moment. Stay with us, and this is actually really cool position for white, and I hope Jan will find a way to explode over this queen side and weaknesses on the in the black territory. What is this? Queen b8. Yeah, queen c8 doesn't work in my opinion because of bishop d4. Anyway, I believe this is the best move now. Just bishop d4, attack the rook, and anyway, move him from this comfortable zone. Maybe you can play bishop d4, follow up with knight a7 if he goes on c8, or if he goes on the fifth rank, you can just pick the pawn on c4. Anyway, c4 pawn is exposed, and that can be changed. That is the fact, and you can take that pawn whenever you want with the white pieces. So all good for Jan. And yeah, it's coming. Nice game, and nice chances to be better in this game, to take advantage. So bishop d4, or just take the pawn. Bishop d4 seems more effective and better move. How to say? Um,
Hello, Balint and chat, either on YouTube or on Twitch. Welcome, of course, if you joined late. This is going to be exciting, and I don't understand what the queen move will do, and I guess it is always like check for checks, takes, threats, and in dry positional positions, it's understand what your opponent wants to do. So this is somehow not really dry, but I need to understand what the queen wants to do here. I should not open the b file by taking his rook later on or so, because then he has a double x-ray attack to my bishop and so on. I need to take care of that later on. So it's thinking time.
Yeah. Okay, think well, Jan. I'm with you, and I hope you'll find the best way and best continuation. Look at your bishop. Look at this bishop on f3. That is a really beautiful piece. Completely dominates this knight on f6. First of all, the knight can jump never forward without use by bishop, and he's monitoring these jumps, scanning them and following him completely. Doesn't give him any chances to surprise us. Also, that sniper doesn't have a counterplay, and he doesn't have the enemy, his dragon enemy on the b7. So complete control over the light squares. That is the reason why I'm thinking the best way to make any improvement and influence on this queen side is to push to pull forward this bishop from b2. Bishop d4 gives another tempi, and after rook goes away, queen takes on c4, and that is I believe the best way to take control over the c file. But as we like to say, that we'll see.
Okay, I did some thinking time. Hello, Balint again, sorry. Oh, I'm so scared of a potential fork from his b-pawn. But I'm also looking at something like knight a7, knight c6, because his bishop looks kind of dull. So if I could get a fork on that, that would be really nice. Shall I take the pawn right now? I don't know. We'll see. And just a short in between from my side. I don't know about you guys, but chess is so exciting. And did I just overlook something here? I don't know. I'll have to take and we'll see what happens. I didn't calculate this, so we'll see.
Hello, hello. Oh yeah, Jan picks the easier option, and that is the way to trade these pieces immediately. Rook c4, rook c4, queen c4, and yeah, keeps him in a driver's seat, and white is slightly better for sure because of bishop pair. Probably I will gladly pick that option with the bishop d4 to put bigger pressure on that exposed rook and very ugly spotted rook on c5 without safe shelter and safe space. Maybe that was slightly better. Yeah, this response is this seems completely sterile, and this position becomes super drawish. I completely forgot about this option for black, and that is what gives him a very nice, very fine. Whoa, Wogan, what? He's thinking to play with his knight, or am I right? Yeah. Oof. I was worried, and at one moment I saw the mouse on the knight. The queen is hanging. So never forget that, yeah, our thoughts flew everywhere during the game, and we are thinking few moves ahead, but sometimes we completely forgot about that option, first option for the opponent, and that is the fact our queen is hanging and she is exposed. So that is where we need to be really careful. Do not forget your queen. Even if you take that knight, even if you go away with your queen, in both situations, Jan will stay without that bishop pair, and that is the problem. Yeah, bishop e5, really simple option and idea to change change this, but anyway, the problem is different color bishops usually lead into the equal positions. Especially now, we doesn't have big differences on the wings, and we can see the problem is nothing happens on the king side. That is the really simple position 4 against 4. Everything will be decided about these pawns on the queen side, b6 and a3. But as we can see, the point is white will put his pawn on a4. Black can hold this pawn on b6, really simple, playing the move like bishop c5. And obviously the progress is, hard to see how any side could make any progress. Anyway, I believe white is still slightly better because he have a safe house for the king. Just play king g2 and give the rook a freedom to go where he want. Maybe slightly better for white this position, but I don't think so. This could be enough. Black can keep something like queen c5 or just simple stuff like knight d5 or bishop c5, as I said, buying a time to develop his rook from f8.
Hello Balint, hello chat, this is Jan, and I have to officially declare that now I'm getting super scared to make mistakes. Chess is like, as we all know, a game full of fear in making mistakes or of making mistakes, and this really gets to me now. We'll see.
Whoa. Queen c6. I don't understand fully this move, queen c6. I'm not sure is that the best, but anyway, very small amount of ideas and no chances to make any big improvement in this different color bishop position. So I'm 90% sure this position will end up with a draw. And even if one side make some mistakes and lose that pawn on the queen side, either in that situation the position is super drawish. Yeah, as we saw, queen c6, queen c5, eye for the eye, the idea for the idea. If you want to improve your queen, I will do something against her. So some Fisher rule: every piece which come across over the half board and enter in our territory, we are trying to trade her, right? To move her away from, to push her back, and or just trade her. That's it. That is the idea of that is the idea for black, and he do this queen c5 move, which is completely okay. And maybe now Jan can continue with rook c1. Really cool way to put pressure on the queen and to force some trade. Maybe after that the b6 pawn could be exposed. Yeah, some tricks here. Rook c1 is very important move. Rook c1, go Jan, go. Rook c1, go Jan, go. As we can see, why I want this move. Rook c1, queen c6, rook c6. In that moment, b6 pawn is hanging. That is not big deal, but in this type of conditions, black can make some bigger mistakes. So probably he will play bishop c5, which is the most logical way to protect his vulnerable pawn on b6. I'm speaking about, of course, I'm speaking about moves after rook c1, queen c6, rook c6, bishop c5 to protect the pawn, and after that a4. After a4, the idea for white is to push the pawn a5. So to move that b6 pawn, his protector in that situation, in that moment for the bishop. And if he goes after a4, rook a8, we can take the bishop with our rook discover attack, and bishop on f3 will be activated. He can hit the rook. So let's try to do that again together. Rook c1 attacking the queen. Queen c6, rook c6 attacking the pawn on b6. One of the most logical move to protect the pawn is bishop c5. After that a4, threatening a5, and the bishop on c5 is exposed. And after a4, seems logical rook a8. That is a big blunder for black. If he chooses that, the problem is rook from c6 takes the bishop on Hello, I'm sorry I was out, but let's go, Jan. Go, Jan. Let's go, Jan. Go, Jan. I don't know where you hear me about cheering that rook c1 move. That is the best move and best idea. And I spoke about this. I'm not sure. Was I? If I was out, I will repeat this sequence: rook c1, queen c6, rook c6, and now b6 pawn is hanging. Probably the best move is rook b8. Very passive move, but enough to hold this equal position, bringing the king into the center, and I believe that position is equal. If black pick this natural move bishop c5, we are coming with a4, and that is idea a4 a5. And if black made mistake and he wants to take the pawn on a4 with the move rook a8, then a rook takes the bishop on c5, bc5, and bishop will take the rook on a8 with a situation where are we completely winning. So this move bishop c5 is
small inaccuracy. Bishop c5, a4, and a5 is coming. I don't see how he's gonna stop that. Instead of that, black can choose the safe way. That is the simple move, rook b8, and I don't think so. Yeah, white have any chances to win this game. Maybe, yeah, we can go forward with a4, who knows, or rook c7 to put some pressure on the bishop, but I don't think so that is enough. Yeah, rook c7 is okay. If he goes king f8, another trick. Yeah, with different color bishops, the fire never stops on over the board. And rook c7, king f8, look at this line. Knight goes on a7. So the simple threat is to take on e7 and knight c6. That is very important to see some beautiful, powerful picture during the fight, and then that brings the clear path and ideas, clear plans. What to do next? What are we doing next? Go young, go, go young, go. Basically, when I cheers like this, he every time guess my move. Maybe he'll do that now.
Oh, hello, Barland, and hello, chat. I'm getting tired, and this shouldn't break my will to win. And Luft for the king. Okay, and now I should somehow activate my bishop. We'll see, we'll see. And somehow I'm super pressed on time. At least I feel like it, although I have plenty of time. At least that's what I think. It's just interesting what your mind does to yourself sometimes. So I will go into thinking mode again instead of babbling mode. Sorry for that.
Yeah. Nicely explained, Jan. And our mind can do strange stuffs to us, and we are struggling every time discussing about some options with us. That's the problem. And yeah, sometimes the feeling is about time. We have a plenty of time, and oh, I'm under 10 minutes. Anyway, this position is generally really easy to be played, and it's not big deal to understand what next and to find something useful, especially when you have the 30 seconds additional time. And rook c7. I think rook c7 is good. Why? e3 never works. I don't like that e3 move because it's not necessary. But the look for the king could be on g2 and that's it. Anyway. We'll see what is the choice for Jan. Will he go with rook c7? Go Jan, go rook c7. Go Jan, go rook c7. That idea seems attractive, and I don't see any other way how to sell some trick beside that rook c7, knight a7 trick to end, take the bishop, give a check, double fork, and win the game. But we'll see, is it possible? And also that depends. Why this passive move? Oh no, Jan, why that?
It is not necessary to protect protected pawn. Just bring some activities, some fight there. That is very important. Yes, we
Okay,
can
and now
see
my
the.
sorry, Balint. Here my limited endgame knowledge comes into play, and I have no clue. Obviously, would it be good to exchange bishops here, or knights, or the colors are interesting to me, but only interesting. I don't know what to do with it. But my pawns are all on dark squares. His pawns are all on white squares, at least the ones in front of the king. So I don't know how to use this. And yeah, we'll see. That is the most spoken phrase ever in my chess games, at least. It is, we will see.
Because that is fact. We never know what is coming and what is the best. That everything depends what our opponent do and how he's picking some defense. How he picks defense. Again, you can see the small inaccuracy, but later big mistake. Nothing happens, and the problem is white Jan didn't took advance over that 7th rank, so that was really simple. Rook c7, and you have control over the 7th rank. Look at your rook instead of if we compare the rook on c7 and rook on b8. Our rook on c7 is much better, and he's making some pressure. Now what he's doing protects the protected pawn. Oh Jan, I will start to yelling, but position is completely equal and drawish, so no big oscillation, and Either if you have some chances, you completely ruin them with rook c3. Now, bishop c6 is most logical move if you trade everything that is equal position. I don't see how you can make some progress. Probably after bishop c6, black will pick knight d6 move, and probably he will offer a draw because the position is completely drawish, and I don't think so either. Both sides can do nothing special, and I think and I expect a very fast draw by agreement. But as Jan likes to say, we'll see.
Okay, I once heard if you're in the end game, you have to have a plan. And I don't have a plan here. I don't know what to do. Basically, to me, it's a draw, and we should just agree to it and go to bed. But again, I don't know. No clue. Probably I should try to go through his pawn chain or whatever. I really have no clue. Nothing.
As you can see, this is a kind of progress, and there is a threat. So knight c6. As we can see, every time with these different color bishops, we have something. Really nice, really mysterious, and we have some. Every time we can find some, we can be in some unexpected situation. Because white have complete control over the light squares and black hold his dark squares. So really simple. Both sides wants to take control over these squares where the bishop is. Nice knight a7 idea. We'll see how black can respond for this move. What do you think? What you can expect for black? Is the bishop c5 the best move? Seems like it is, or some king f8. Maybe it is also okay. And after knight c6, rook c8, nothing happens. But I'm proud Jan. Jan is still fighting and finding some solutions and options how to push forward and how to go deeper. Trying to find some chance to win this game. Still really drawish, and as I said earlier, I was before 15 moves almost completely sure this will be a kind of draw, and that is what is coming now. This position is completely equal, very easy to understand the system of defense for both sides and how to play and keep his pieces safe. Yeah, so black goes forward with his bishop, maybe rook d3 and rook d7. Go Jan on the 7th rank. Go Jan, go.
Oh, hello. You probably noticed my heart rate going up. And I think I saw a
Nothing.
tactic here to get his pawn, but he can defend by going knight to... Well, he could defend anyway. Didn't even take a look at that. Okay.
Jan
By the
heart
way, I
rate
think it's a
just
draw, and I would be happy with a draw because he's so much higher rated, but I don't know if he would accept it. We'll see. We'll see. There it was again. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so Jan heart rate didn't change all the game, 58, and that's it. That's it. 1 second, one toop, toop, toop. Like, nothing happens. And yeah, that obviously telling us this is a peaceful position and really calm water where Jan is flowing. So, swimming, yeah, nothing happens. It's completely drawish position, and now White will probably pin his bishop with a4 and bishop on the a4 and e8 diagonal, and yeah, bring the king into the center. Every time some complication, unnecessary complication. Bring the king, do not late with that. Yeah, maybe now if black goes with king e7, Jan can give a check on c6, and if he take the bishop, that's it. It's better position. Then we have bishop against knight endgame, where we have the pawns on two different wings. That is generally really good for white, for the side which has a bishop. And yes, if you have a bishop, it's maybe time. It's better time for you, and maybe you can win this position easily. Jan is taking some. Jan takes some activities and he goes further. We will see what is coming and what Jan plan is actually. Will he bring his king closer or what? What he is doing? Yeah, a4 or knight d. Just knight d4 is more than enough to keep this position equal, or just bring the king. Anyway, it's equal. But who knows? Maybe someone made make mistake. Okay, bishop e2, preventing.
So I sent
This
the draw
idea.
offer and draw agreed. Okay, super nice. Love it. Okay. Phew.
Oh, congrats. Nice game, Jan. Good fight.
Okay. Hello, Balin. Can you hear me?
Hello. I hear you. Congrats, Jan. Nice game.
Thank you. First of all, Kurt, GG. Wonderful game. And Balint, my reason why I wanted the draw here is I just couldn't understand what is his knight able to do, and would he be faster in a king race to get my pawn on a3? I saw several fork options for him, and I just didn't have the mind and experience to calculate that, and it was too uncertain for me. And as he was such higher rated player as I was just thinking a draw is fine here. Was it okay or was it a mistake?
Yeah, it was completely okay in this position because it's not possible to, it's not possible to do nothing serious. Just bring the king into the center. He will do the same. The moments when you have some chances to do something serious was the moment when you planning to go rook c7, rook c7 to attack the bishop, and knight a7, knight c6 idea was okay. Everything else was completely equal, especially when you decide to take rook c4. Maybe instead of taking that on rook c4, the better option was bishop d4 to attack the rook and push his rook away from the fifth rank, and later you can take that pawn whenever you want. Before you take his pawn on c4, I think you should put some. You should bring some pressure on that rook. Maybe like bishop d4. He need to go back. For example, if he goes on c8, you have something similar like now knight a7. You see, this knight a7 was effective move because a8 square is protected and bishop control that. So you have a chances to fight for some advantage or for some trick, and also his rook is not good on b8, so
Okay,
maybe if you bring,
Balint, I bring it up on on the board, right?
yeah, please
Oh,
analyze. So we
study,
can
and
you
it is game study or big Lindbar. I don't know where we have it usually. Here, right? On big Lindbar?
sorry,
Do we have
just a
it?
sec.
It is game
I,
study,
I I
isn't it?
will I will, yeah, I will invite you. Just give me a few seconds.
Okay.
I was watching.
It is already on the study here, Balint. That should be good. So I'm sending you the. It's called game study.
Please not Discord, Lichess.
Yeah, I cannot do
Thanks.
the Lichess as always. Okay, but you should have a study called game study only. That's it, and there we are.
Yeah, just under fire. Only 2 studies, and you are there.
Balint, I'm kind of happy and I'm sad at the same time, and it's just a mix of emotions here. There you are. Yes, okay.
I'm here. Can you
yes,
see
you moved it.
Okay. So as you can see, the problem, the problem in this position, everything is okay, no problem. But the problem comes later. You can see now it's very interesting idea to go knight e5. That is the reason why I mentioned black need to play first of all c6, then bishop bishop b7, b6, and bishop b7, and later c5. Otherwise, maybe you can punch him with knight e5. Also, during the stream, I mentioned that you can just take this pawn on d5. That is a really effective way. He cannot take this one, and when he takes here bishop f4, knight c3, rook c1, and semi-open c files gives you some advantage. Anyway, it was okay. Knight c3 seems correct, and now you can see c6. That is a modern theory, and now we realize this is the easiest way for black to keep equal position, and really simple method. b3 is a passive move, and now he will push c5 at one moment. Rook e1, another passive move, and we have c5. Now you have to do this move. You need to take that. That is completely necessary.
Before the rook
Otherwise,
move, yes.
Everything else, you can see this is a kind of grandpa move.
Balint,
and very
you know what? When the pressure came up with the pawns, I thought exactly this. Like, why was I playing a3? It was just giving me the weak b3 pawn and was not doing anything. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you spent 2 minutes, so you didn't play this move fast, but probably you didn't want to risk anything. That is the reason you played rook e1. I recommend this move, rook e1. That is useful move. Maybe you will push e4, but not in this position. So probably either this move, rook e1, is a kind of mistake. It's not necessary to be played. So this is not necessary. If you want to progress, bishop, I don't know. Seems pointless, you know. First of all, as you can see, computer gives some. Anyway, bishop b4, but it's not big deal. It's it's around equal position. I will turn off computer. But a3 is a problem you have to take. That's the point. Otherwise, he'll take your pawn, and he will take this one, and this guy will stay isolated, like it was into the game. Rook c8.
I found that out too late, only when he did the rook move, yes.
You see, again, he also don't want to take some risky steps. He played just rook c8, but then now you have to take the last moment, and position is equal. He will take on d4, you will move the knight, blah, blah, blah. Nothing happens, two pawns trades, and that's it. As you can see, after several seconds, after just 5 seconds, computer found a 3-line, everything is 0, 0, 0. So you will trade a lot of pieces here. That is the reason why maybe it's not the best way to play like this, especially with the white pieces. And now if you take on c4, problem. If you take here, even worse. Now you are minus 1.8. So big disadvantage, almost -2 for black. And of course, my choice was you have to
Really
play
that
b4.
bad?
But you are pawn down, so it's it was if he take on b3, you are one. You mentioned, oh, I don't want 2 versus 1. This is kind of pass pawn, and position is -2. Also completely without perspective. Your knight is dominated by the bishop. That is the first fact. Second story is just queen c7, queen b7. Aiming here, all good. And just push the pawns 2 versus 1. Easy game for black. So that was the best way how to continue. But now I realize there will be a blood b4. And I fears for this move also. And now I thought you'll play something like knight b5. That was my idea, to bring the knight here or here. That is a kind of most energetic responses against this in this position where you are pawn down. But you played passive move rook c1. And as you can see, this is the second best computer move, and that is good. You keep your patient. And now a6, I predict this move, and seems like the best move, and obviously he wants to push b5.
Yes.
So basically you spend a lot of time, and you realize I have to go b5. That was the only reasonable move, and now you are giving this c5 square for him. And this is disaster. This move immediately losing -1.2, 1.3
I was super happy when he played it.
advantage for for black.
Yes.
Position is rook c5, which seems completely, strange and uncharacteristic. You were there, and you are going back on c8, and now you are coming back again. What the heck? So doesn't seems correct, and maybe it's not the best for for black. It's strange for human, of course, to find this plan. But now you are completely better. And at the beginning, I was thinking, okay, a4 is the best move. I was worried about your queen a4, but you can see with computer both of these moves are correct. And a4 and queen a4, small advantage for white. a4 solved the problem for the longer period, and you have protected knight. Your knight is really, really cool and effective here. So maybe you will jump on d6, maybe you are going on d7 and standard to push your knight on c6. That is the way how to make progress. Later I just realized, oh, it's nothing wrong with this move, rook queen a4. And he played queen b8, the best computer move. Very
I was
nice move.
wondering. I didn't understand at all what was happening.
Of course, queen c8 is a silly attempt to keep this pawn alive. It's not possible. And I mentioned this bishop d4 is coming. That is the best computer move. Of course, now computer goes, it's not possible to save this rook or to save this pawn. And computer found something like knight e5 and some madness over the board. Maybe, who knows, maybe you can be better here. You will take the rook and who knows. Anyway, the game was this move, and now rook c4, the best move. What? And still, after this one, knight e5. Yeah, I just realized rook can't go back. This move, I'm not big fan of that, because can you play this one? Is there any point? Seems really unpleasant. Computer doesn't do so much for black. Yeah. I'm sorry. This is the what? Look at this variation, Jan. He's speaking about these moves. Top, 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 and knight c6. And just play this game. You will take here. Look at these knights. They are really bad. You have a bishop pair, and you are playing rook and bishop against the queen.
I would be scared.
Yeah, that is crazy option. So the only move for black is knight c5. Forced move to attack the queen, because the knight is hanging and we cannot protect him anymore. Otherwise, knight c6, and I believe that is winning position. So some, just to see, for example, rook e8, rook somewhere, rook e8. I don't know, is it possible? It seems stupid. Anyway, knight goes to c6. The point is, I just want to take your second bishop, and later I will take the pawn on c4 with the bishop pair. Open center, maybe I have some chances. I will bring the rook, put the pressure on b pawn, and you can see mine plus 1.4 in this position for you. After rook c4, queen c4, I completely forgot, and this is the move which immediately completely shut down every potential in this position, and position becomes super sterile. Nothing happens later. You played queen c6, and now I was go young, go rook c1, rook c1, and yeah, cheering for this one. Because if he picked the bishop c5 move, which seems completely correct and obvious, and now, okay, yeah, maybe he wants to stop a4 and to play this move, and I was, maybe that is the best way to win this game. That was my plan. Otherwise, if he do something, nothing, you will push a5, you can see plus 3. So a big advantage for white, because if you
Haven't
push this
thought of
pawn,
that at
it's
all.
over.
Yes. Have
If
not thought of
take
this
this
at all.
That's it. So otherwise, the only human way to say is to play rook b8. That is also really passive move. And now rook is pinned, and he is really passive. He is just big protector for the pawn on b6. Yeah, and you played e3. I was, rook c7, yeah, rook c7. Yeah, you played just nothing. Rook c7
Yeah,
is
but
the
what
last
would be so
best.
exciting about rook c7? He could just protect. Yeah.
Little bit
Yeah,
geometry.
but I wouldn't have gone with the king. I would have played the bishop to d8 instead of going with the king.
Bishop d8.
Yes.
Oh yeah, but look at his pieces, without some potentials. So this e3 is this e3 will not give you nothing, that doesn't give you nothing. You said luft for the king, you have
Yeah,
you
I was
have
only
exit for the king.
Balint. The reason I played e3 was I wanted to
Huh?
bring my bishop somehow
Uh-huh,
to protect the a pawn or the
a4.
knight or something. I haven't
Also,
thought of all that what you just showed.
you were scared. Yeah, you were scared about that. I saw that, but you can just put him on c6 at one moment. He'll see. So just bring him on c6 and no, and this rook c3. That is a backward move. Why? It's not necessary. No needed to go back. You can push a4 if you want. Minimum I for the I. If he comes here, you will take his pawn and bye bye. The draw is guaranteed. Anyway, it's not necessary to bring your rook back, and yeah, now you've played this move, and yeah, some chances. Rook b3. I'm sorry, rook b3, and pawn is hanging at some point and some moment if you play knight c6. After this, of course, there is no chance to do something. Yeah, now that is the reason why, that is the moment when I thought you can play bishop c6, this one. If you want to trade this guy, this is the easiest way, and you will bring your bishop here, right on the right spot. But it's completely equal. You can see it's madness to speak about any options. Bishop b5. He will take here, trade, and he's coming bishop c5, and no one wants to do nothing. King comes here, and that's it. Complete, mirror position, literally, with different color bishops, and no fire anymore on the board. So completely, completely deserved draw. Maybe you were slight better later. At the beginning, you fought and you end
But
up
Balint,
in slight worse position, but. Uh-huh.
Balint, you know that I'm so good at one thing, right? That one thing is doing mistakes at the very end of the game. So I was so scared to still lose it that I was saying just like I will oversee a fork or something, and or stupid pawn maneuver and so on. And so I was so happy when I said, well, just make it a draw and it's all good. Because I was also lower on time when I thought I had only 3 minutes and he 5 or 6. I was like, I'm going to lose this on time because I have to double check everything. And so that was scary for me at the end.
I know that feeling, and it's okay. Congrats. As you said, you mentioned this guy is higher rated player than you are, so okay, it's completely fine. You made the draw, and no problem. It's okay. Correct
Nice.
game. At one moment, you blundered your pawn, but you fought well, and you took that pawn back. At the end, he realized he's under pressure. He forced some trades and completely deserve and complete equal games. So
Huh.
draw is the fair result,
Nice.
in my opinion.
So that is very nice. So here already 90% accuracy. That's kind of good for me. No real blunders, only 2 mistakes, 2 inaccuracies. That was a good game for me.
Yeah, you can just
Mm.
go through this game really fast if you want. I will watch that. So just quick analyze on the stream. Few minutes to and stop please there where you made mistakes.
Okay, so here we go. It was all good.
So all good. We saw everything. Nothing happens.
Yes, and here the mistake comes. It is H3, this super
And this moment
slow
A3.
grandpa move. Yes, and I didn't realize about the problem here only when he played the rook move. So here again, just think
You
ahead.
know what is the problem, honestly? I'm sorry, I interrupt you.
No, I was just saying that again, I need to think like 4, 5 plays ahead and I'll see it. But here I was just like, oh, it's all okay. It's protected by the pawn. And I didn't take a look of the exchanges and then the losing of the pawn.
Yeah, I agree. It's the main problem, honestly, or the biggest problem in this position is you don't want to take any risky moves. You don't want to take any risk at all in this position. You're just waiting, but that waiting strategy sometimes is not possible. And rook e1 is a waiting move. A3 is a waiting move. His rook c8 is a waiting move. I will not strike first. But if we compare this position, the main difference is between the knights. You can see one knight on f3. That is okay. He protects the pawn on d4, like his knight, his pawn on d5. But his other knight protects the c5 pawn, and your knight doesn't protect c4 pawn. And there is a key, and that was a weakness. Please go on.
Yes, all right.
So you are just waiting, and when you will strike in. So that is the problem. You need to chances to do something, but again you didn't act. You see? So that is
Yes.
a rhythm. That is melancholic mode. Risky footsteps, right? So just some middle light strategy. Nothing happens, and I'm okay. But then when he punch you, you immediately start to swim. Just trying. Start to moving all of your body, and you start to fold here at this moment, and struggles, of course, calculations, blah blah blah. So you need, after some period, to take more active moves and radical decisions. Make a choice. Do not, uh, even if you are playing, you can take just one grandpa move, and then you have to strike. So you must have a plan or backup or something. Maybe one move, waiting move for preparation or something. If you can see, he's also doing the same thing, but just one, and that's it. You must strike your fight, and you must hit first, especially in this how to say, center, tense, intense center, and that intense fight between 4 pawns on d4 d5 and c4 c5. Anyway, go on, please.
Yes. Okay.
It's okay. Just push forward.
So
Go
this was
ahead.
all bad. And now I was so happy
Yeah,
when
it's
he did this
mistake
move.
according to computer.
Yeah, and see, it took me like
I'm proud for
it
this
took
move.
me 3 seconds.
But yeah, this is
is not, this is a strategical, enormous blunder. You cannot give this bishop for the knight. You must trade bishop for the bishop. Maybe there was some reason why he do that. Maybe he planning to do something, but then he realized, oh, I mess up, and he just continue normally. I don't know, but anyway, in this open fight position, open center position, you cannot give the bishop for the knight, and you can see immediately 0-0-0.
Yes.
Go on.
Yeah, so here
So rook
nothing
c5.
happened.
I don't believe any human can find that rook c5 move. And yeah, now you can see it's
Okay, and now here bishop
to make
f6, king
any
f8
progress.
would have been better. Yes. So
But
so here the computer says the king move would be best. Yeah, just to protect the bishop and also for bringing it into the center, into the action, or what?
But difference is in some promils, literally.
Yes. Okay.
The difference is,
And the
I don't
rest
know,
was so
1 in
far.
1,000.
Yeah, and the rest was all okay. Yeah. So basically, there were really not a lot of mistakes.
You need to keep. You should keep.
No,
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So generally, you should keep the rooks if you want to fight for the win. Immediately when you played rook c8, that is the reason why computer gives inaccuracy or mistake, because you don't have any chances.
I understand. Okay.
Real, it's
Yeah.
deadly drawish position. So
Balint,
before
I
that,
thought.
maybe you still have some chances with the rooks, but after this, completely equal.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Balint, I was so excited because I thought this is my winning move because I didn't see his bishop d8 because I thought it would go like this. He takes, I'll take, and then he needs to, well, just go with the pawn. And that is actually the computer move, so I was totally off. And then I thought I could just go here. Yeah, but then I also didn't see this one. And then here. Yeah, so this I was not able to calculate this in total, and I thought it was
bishop
would be good.
e7. Yeah.
Yeah, so this was
this is example which shows you that do not be scared about that. If you don't see, that the equal option, just look at the basic mat. You have 5 pawns, he have a 5 pawns. You have one weakness, he have a one weakness. You have a pawn weakness, he have a b pawn weakness. If you attack his pawn on b side, he will attack your pawn on a side. If he attacks your pawn on a line, you will attack his pawn on b. So will you go with the material story, pawn for the pawn, eye for the eye, or with strategical eye for the eye? I will attack your pawn, and I will, if you take my pawn, I will take your pawn. So some protection. If you protect your pawn, you cannot hit his pawn. If he protects his pawn, he cannot hit your pawn, and that is the story, unbreakable connection between this A and B pawn, and that means this position is completely equal and still
and
very, very drawish.
exactly there I lack experience. Yeah, I was really scared. I didn't know what happens, and is it an easy draw? Will I have to fight? Can it only be won by a blunder from the other one? And so I was really scared again of the king race and running into a knight fork, for example, for the pawn and bishop or something like this. But all in all, I'm really happy. Before the game, I was thinking like, oh, he's going to beat me. He's such a higher rated player. And now I have a draw, which is nice. And also looking at the evaluation here, inaccuracies, mistakes, no blunders, 90%. It's all right.
Yeah, completely correct position, and you will see, Jan, when you are playing game like this, I'm not yelling, you know. I'm completely normal, you know.
Okay. Yeah, but you could if you'd like to, of course. Yeah.
No reason to be, you know.
Okay, nice.
Nice, yeah.
Then what's happening next? Again, this is a new tournament. It's called the Grand Swiss Classic. It's organized by Kurt and a friend of him, I believe. 112 players. It's 7 rounds. We have 10 days per round. So this will take a little longer. And the fun part is that you are playing in a team, but there is no team score. But you are not allowed to play against someone from your own team. So this is the interesting part of the tournament. And they also organize a tournament which starts tomorrow, I think, where you have 12 hours, like in a normal tournament you enter on Lichess, and then you have like the Bundesliga, but it's classical, and it's a 12-hour period to get your classical game in. So I'm still thinking if I have time to play that. And this is probably coming next. And yeah, it's exciting. For me, it's really exciting, Barlind. And I don't know, have you seen my video about my goal for 2025?
No.
Okay, so then I let you know my goals for 2025 now. So I did a recap video of 2024, and one of the highlights, Barlind, was that I got in touch with you as the commentator and also as coach by doing the analysis after the games. Like you're not coaching me in lessons, but in the commentary and in the post-mortem afterwards. And I'm doing the chess dojo stuff to get better. And as little as I can, I do that and try to get better. So my goal for 2025 is to do every day, like 20 minutes, half hour at least. So I have a full schedule, a full year of doing something on a daily basis. That is one goal. And the next goal is to win my class, my division, at the German Amateurs Championship. Preliminary round in Travemünde, end of May. So last year I got 2.5 points out of 5, and this time I of course like to get 5 points out of 5, which would qualify me for the final round of the German Amateurs Championship. But the fun part is it's the second lowest class. So, but still, it is fun for me, and I'll give my best.
For you, that progress, that is a challenge, that is something nice, and why not? You know, that's it. Just I'm supporting you for completely about that, and you know, just go young, go. You know my words. So I'm here to help about preparation. I'm here to see is it possible to help you during that tournament or something, or make some commentary or videos
absolutely.
about that is also nice. And you mentioned some interesting games from the World Rapid and Blitz Championship. So maybe we can continue our stream with that. Maybe we can organize something like that. So maybe Tuesday is the best way to continue.
Yeah,
What do you
that would
think?
be great. Yes. And
Yeah, so
before we go to that, I have one more goal for 2025, and
Mhm.
that is in the FIDE online arena. You know, they have those titles, and the next title on the list would be the FIDE Online Arena Master, so the FIDE Master for the online arena. And I will try to do this in 2025 too, so that I need to get 175 points more than I have, or ELO ranking more than I have now. So by the end of the year, why not?
Will
Hmm?
become maybe colleagues, international masters?
Never, Valent, never, because it's our FIDE online arena.
Who knows?
Yes, true.
Do not
Mm.
say that. Never
Yeah,
knows.
yeah, yeah, true. So, and for us, of course, it would be great to continue our sessions on Tuesdays. But there had been
Mhm.
a change to Chessable, and I got in touch with them, but didn't receive an answer by now, because so far they allowed to stream everything from their free courses, like the full text, the full positions, and the full videos. And now they made
Mhm.
the free courses only available to pro members. And
Mhm. Mhm.
I, of course, don't know if they allow then to stream those sessions, because then non pro members would also be able to see this. So I'm waiting for their answer on this. And I'm sure we can make us our own courses, our own sessions. Yeah, and one is the
Definitely, yeah.
yeah, so I'm sure we will always have stuff to do, which I enjoy so tremendously. These Tuesdays with you are always great. Yeah.
Yeah, we can learn
Mhm.
something new. So we'll figure out something if they don't allow that for the next time. Yeah. Anyway, I enjoy and
Mhm.
still I can I
Mhm.
can tell you that I'm really nice surprised,
Mhm.
and it was nice game. You'll see your heart rate is
Mhm.
unbelievable stable, 58
Mhm.
still. When I'm watching this monitor
Mhm.
every time 58.
Mhm. Mhm.
Calm water, just
Yeah, I'm
nothing.
just sitting here. It's my, but I believe Balint. There was a time
You're
when it
now
went up. Yeah.
uncomfortable zone.
Mm. Okay, Balint. Final question to you: what are your goals for 2025?
uh Really hard question. I didn't think about that. I know my goals, but I don't define them,
Mhm.
yet.
Okay.
I know the path where I need to go, but how I will end up, who knows? Not I still didn't define what my plans actually. Probably it's to you know to have a nice and better cooperation with you, to stream more and to
Mhm.
make some very nice content,
Mhm.
also to create more interesting studies and materials for my students. And
Mhm.
actually that is my goal, my personal coach goal. But
Mhm.
I don't know yet what I want from my chess career and what I will play. Yeah, I'll have some interesting period with my students on the summer. I'm planning to play some tournaments, so if you want, you can join us and we are going to play some nice tournaments. That is my goal, chess goal. Everything else,
Nice. Mhm.
I didn't thought. I didn't think about that.
Mhm. Do you have
Yeah,
any
but thanks
tournaments
for
you'd like
asking.
to go to?
On summer, yeah, everywhere in Split, in Croatia, in Serbia, we have some nice tournaments. Then, of course, I like and I enjoy it so much in Turkey, where I'm visiting my friend Dragan Šolak, and there
Mhm.
is a chess hotel. I spoke about that, and yeah, that is
Mhm.
that is what I'll do. But not, as I said, not now. That is a plan for the summer, and that will be. Uh, that is touchable. I think I'll do that.
Mhm.
Before that, nothing serious and nothing special. Maybe I need
think about that, what I can do about my chess, and maybe I need to pick the similar goal like you do, 20 minutes minimum, some practicing. I have some books to read. That is what I will do for sure in this year.
Nice. Okay.
Chess books, some old chess, Nimzowitsch book, and my book when I read when I was kid. So maybe to like reminder to do that again, and that was I enjoy so much, and
Nice.
why not again? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Then I'd like to close this with a happy note. My first classical game against a 1984 rated player, it was a draw. So that's a good sign, I think. Yeah. Yay. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Then yeah, then the normal procedure. Thank you everybody for watching and following and cheering, hopefully. And hope to see you on round number 2 in the latest. And we, as always, have to rate somebody on Twitch. That's a holy procedure at the end of each stream. And Valin, thank you again. And we talk later, of course. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Right. So, rate channel following. Who am I following? And it is Uncle Jesse who is online. So let's go rate and start the rate. And 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and start the rate. Let's see if she allows it. Yes. Have a good night, everyone.